Hello. Have you ever wanted to know of a 100% chance of a comfortable way to approach somebody about faith? In other words, never be uncomfortable when you talk about faith with people. Have you ever wanted to know of a surefire way to do that? I have. And I'd like to share it with you. My name's Frank McLean. And for the last year, I have spent days, hours, and role playing and analyzing and scrutinizing ways to simplify approaching people about faith in a manner in which would always be a comfortable manner so that nobody would feel uncomfortable. And you're thinking, this guy is full of it. I know you are, especially if you've served as a missionary in any way. You're thinking, this guy, there's no way. Bear with me. I call it the 6-word question approach, and it is a beautiful approach. Are you comfortable talking about faith? It's a 6-word question. Are you comfortable talking about faith? Now, why is that question so powerful? And how does it keep things from becoming uncomfortable? Let me demonstrate. So you approach somebody and you say, hey, can I talk to you for a minute? And they say, sure. Are you comfortable talking about faith? And they say, no. I'm sorry. Then all of a sudden, all you have to do is say, well, then neither am I. I do not want anyone to feel uncomfortable as I talk with them about faith. Thank you for your time. And you walk away. You walk away complimenting them and respecting them. So you never get in trouble. And nobody's ever uncomfortable. That is how you ask. That's why the question is so powerful. You're not asking them, can I talk to you about Jesus Christ? And when they say no, then all of a sudden they think you're judging them for not believing in Jesus Christ. Well, maybe they just don't want to talk about Jesus Christ at that very moment because they feel uncomfortable in some strange way. Okay? So, are you comfortable talking about faith? Now, why faith? Why not Jesus Christ or the Book of Mormon or Joseph Smith or, anything, right? Well, why faith? Because you don't know your audience. You don't know if you're talking to a Jew, or if you're talking to a Muslim, or if you're talking to a Christian, or if you're talking to a reincarnationist, a Hindu, a Baha'i. There's so many different faiths out there. You don't know. So keep it generic, right? Hi, can I talk to you for a minute? Sure. Are you comfortable talking about faith? Yes. Now think about what they're saying yes to. They're not only saying yes that they're comfortable talking about faith. They're not only saying yes that it's okay for you to talk to me about faith. They're also saying or making a commitment that as you talk to them about faith, that they're going to be comfortable. And they're going to stick to that commitment because they said they are. And they want to maintain that comfortable position. Now, as long as you don't make it too hard on them, they're going to stick to it and you're going to walk away feeling edified. But if you start arguing, contending with them in any shape, fashion, or form and make it uncomfortable for them, not only have you failed, but you risk getting kicked out of wherever you're at, the establishment, Home Depot, Office Depot, whatever. You're gonna get in trouble. And mind you, you're in a public place here, a public establishment. The last thing you want to have is management breathing down your neck saying, get out of here and cease and desist. So, getting their permission to talk to them about faith, only if they're comfortable doing so, is brilliant. Now, when they say yes to those questions, can you talk to them? Are they comfortable? And can you talk to them about faith? Then you ask one final question. Do you mind sharing with me your reason why you're comfortable? That's one thing you can ask them. Or, I have a 120-second message to share with you. May I share it with you? You could ask them that. Or, I was at church Sunday and I shared a quick little short message on faith. Do you mind if I share it with you real quick? Or, I have here a card with a video on it that I'd like to share with you. And and you QR code it, or maybe you just scan it, or maybe you just bring up your phone and you say, I have a short message on faith. Do you mind if you listen to it? It's just 2 minutes. Sorry. That's what you can do. And they will say yes. You share the message. When you're done, thank you for your time. I've taken my 2 minutes like that I said I would take. So you got to manage your time and you walk away. But you'll find a lot of times that by then, a lot of people are wanting to talk to you and engage in you, a conversation, because they have stuff to share too. I'll share a story. It's a great story. I walked up to a lady that said, can I talk to you for a moment? I said, sure. Well, actually, on the back of her shirt, it said, ask me. I said, okay. So I walked up to her and I said, can I ask you something? She looked at me. I said, it's on the back of your shirt. She goes, oh, okay. Yeah, I said, I do have a question for you. And she goes, okay. I said, first of all, are you comfortable talking about faith? She says, well, I said, it's just a 120-second message I'm going to share with you if that's okay with you. She was a little skeptic, and she said, okay. I said, all right. And I shared with her the following message on faith that I had learned over the last year to share from other people. And it goes something like this. When we die, the opportunity to have faith in things begins to dwindle. One piece of knowledge after another that we learn. If there's life after death, we can't have faith that there's life after death anymore because it becomes a knowledge, perfect knowledge. If there's a Jesus Christ, we can't have faith that Christ exists anymore because our faith becomes dormant and becomes perfect knowledge. I said that will apply to all things. And in time, we will learn chemistry, physics, algebra, all the maths, all the sciences. We'll learn everything, the expanse of the universe. But we will always look back. Forever, we will always look back on the short little period of our existence called Earth life and wonder, did we take advantage of this time and learn the one thing that we will not get to do as much as forever, and that is learn faith and hope in good things to come. I said, ma'am, that's my message. And I walked away. She said, thank you. And I walked away. And I thought of an invite to give her, to extend to her, and I wrote it on the back of my business card. And I came back to her and I said, here's my card. Here's something I'd like to invite you to, Alma 32. And she turned and looked at me with tears in her eyes. She said, thank you. You have no idea. She gave me this big hug and whispered in my ear. She said, thank you. You have no idea how much I needed that message. And we both wept. That's just one of many experiences I've had. And you're welcome to use that message of faith. I'll tell you how I developed that message on faith. When I first learned how to use this question, it wasn't something I came up with. Someone actually shared it with me. They were not of my own faith at the time either, or any time. They were not in my faith. And they taught me the psychology behind that question. They taught me why it's effective and how that question can initiate the actual journey to becoming a missionary. He said, go up and ask people if they're comfortable talking about faith. And for those that are comfortable talking about faith, if you don't have a message to share with them, you tell them. Well, I'm looking for a message to share about faith. Would you mind helping me with that? And you say, look, I'm going to be in the grocery store for about an hour. And if you could think of something, come up and talk to me and tell me what you've got. And I would like to use it. I did this with about 10 people in a grocery store. Some of them never came back and talked to me, but some did. And I got ideas. And then I went to church and I asked people what they thought a good message would be if I got permission to talk to somebody about faith. And then they began to teach me. And all of a sudden, after a while, I got this great little concise 120-second message on faith. I just shared it with you, but there's others that I've also come up with as well. I know how to talk to a scientist. I know how to talk to a Muslim now. I know how to talk to and actually bring in Christ as I talk to a Muslim. These are things that I've learned how to do, all based upon this one question. Are you comfortable talking about faith? It leads to everything else. That's the beauty of the question. And besides, as a Latter-day Saint, as a saint, period, what kind of saint are we if we don't know how to talk to people that are comfortable talking about faith? We need to change something if we're not wanting to talk to people that are comfortable talking about faith. We need to change something. I've asked seasoned members that are great missionaries to go up and talk to somebody about faith, just simple faith. And they couldn't do it because they know how to talk about the Book of Mormon and Joseph Smith and Kolob and Heavenly Mother and these heavy doctrines, but they don't know how to talk about faith. It's so simple. I was in the same boat when I met this guy that taught me this 6-word question, who was not a member of my faith. I learned from him. I didn't know how to talk about faith. I knew how to talk about all this other stuff, but not faith. Anyway, so just to summarize, are you comfortable talking about faith? Don't forget to get permission to talk to them, manage your time, share a brief message of faith, consider an invitation of some kind to give them, and the most important part, throughout the entire process, don't forget to pray for guidance. Anyway, so that's it. That is the 6-word question approach. I challenge you to use it. Gain a testimony of it. You'll get excited too because it's easy and no one gets uncomfortable ever. That's the beauty of it. I've approached hundreds of people in the last year and had no bad experience from this question. That's why I'm so excited about it. I want to tell the world about it. I went 30 years after my mission, being a missionary, trying to share the gospel with people. Gosh, had so many uncomfortable experiences. Now, I'm having nothing but comfortable experiences because I'm only talking to people that are comfortable talking about it. It's great. We've had baptisms as a result of it. 2 in the last year, as a result of that question being asked. I have an extreme testimony of this question, and I know it'll change the lives of anyone listening to this video. Go give it a shot. I promise you, it'll make a difference in your life. If you don't have a testimony, that's okay. Are you comfortable talking about faith? Well, yes, I am. Well, I'm not. In fact, I don't have a testimony of anything, but I'd like to, because I want to believe in something to come after I'm dead. Would you mind helping me with that? And watch what happens. You're 7 years old. You hardly know how to use English. You're at a restaurant. Your parents are there. They're paying for the bill. The waiter or the waitress is standing right there. Hi, can I talk to you for a second? Sure, the waiter or waitress says. Are you comfortable talking about faith? Why, yes, I am, the waiter or the waitress says. They're going to say that. They want a tip. Great, because my parents have a message for you. Boom! Parents, get ready. You never know when your child might ask that question. And boy, I would love to have a camera there to watch that happen. Nonetheless, no matter where you're at in your testimony, no matter how old you are, young and old, this question applies to everyone. Good luck. Godspeed. May the Lord be with you. That was my Star Wars reference. I know, it's kind of cheesy. Have fun, guys.